Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles. I want to welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and where we give you a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And in today's episode, the topic is, should the Toronto Raptors go after Bradley Beal now or in the future? So that's the topic I want to get into in today's video. But before we get into that, I want you guys to please make sure you go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell to be notified whenever we drop our content, and be sure to check out our Dreamerspro Short Clips channel, which we have linked in the description below, and also be sure to check out our Dreamerspro Podcast, which is also linked in the description below. Excuse me, fighting with a bit of a cough here. So let's just get straight into the topic here. As you know, there's a lot of, we're in the off-season now, and there are a lot of moves that are going to be made in the off-season due to player, movement and free agency, right? And there's so many different teams in the league that have very important decisions to make about the type of players that they want to, that they want to keep and move and acquire and all of these different things. But looking at the Toronto Raptors, right, they do have some free agency moves and decisions that they need to make in the immediate and in the moment right now. But we're also going to do a video talking about, their free agency moves that they could possibly make on deciding what players to keep. But in this video, we just want to look ahead a little bit. So if we just do a quick recap on the Raptors, in the last two seasons, they've been quite successful. 2 years ago, they won the title for the first time in the history of their organization with Kawhi Leonard, Pascal Siakam, Kyle Lowry, and these guys. And they beat the Golden State Warriors in 6 games, which was really, really exciting to see for that team and that organization and that country, really, because it was their first basketball championship. So it was really exciting. And they had a pretty good run. And I think that was due to the fact that, yes, they had some great team chemistry. They had a great culture, a fantastic coach, a great president of basketball operations, and everyone understood their roles really well on that team. If you look at that team a few years ago, Marc Gasol, Kyle Lowry, Fred VanVleet, Kawhi Leonard, Pascal Siakam, Serge Ibaka, Marc Gasol, all these guys, everyone knew their roles. You could tell it wasn't about the ego. Instead, it was about getting the job done, and they did that in a really fantastic way. They played a lot of great unselfish basketball. They showed a lot of grit, going through a lot of tough situations in the playoffs with the 7-game series that they had against the Philadelphia 76ers, and winning that game 7 in such a dramatic fashion, then really showing that their championship grit and their heart, really, after going down 0-2 to the Milwaukee Bucks and fighting back and essentially winning the next 4 games in a row to go to the NBA Finals and then get to the Finals, where a lot of people did not pick them because they just didn't believe in them. But for them to block out all the noise, go out there, get the job done, and really, carve out their place in history, was really impressive. And the following season, which was the season that just finished, I expected the Toronto Raptors to do very well. And in fact, they were one of the top 3 seeds in the Eastern Conference, just showing you that, they were not a fluke. They're a very great team. And they got to the playoffs. And although it was a pretty funky playoffs, given the fact, it was in the Orlando bubble and there were no away or home games, things were a little bit wacky and some crazy things happened in this particular bubble. The Phoenix Suns were hot. I think they lost probably 1 game or so in the bubble. I think they went 8-0. I don't remember. But they were really hot. And you saw some pretty interesting things happen in this bubble. And when the playoffs started, I had originally picked the Milwaukee Bucks and the Toronto Raptors to go to the Eastern Conference Finals, but obviously that didn't happen because the Miami Heat ended up knocking off the Milwaukee Bucks, I believe, in 5 games or so, which was a huge surprise to me, and I'm sure to many of you guys. And then also looking at the Toronto Raptors take the Boston Celtics, I think it was 7 games before they lost to them, which was really impressive, man. And they showed, again, a lot of tenacity, great coaching, a lot of grit. They were not going to give up. But looking at that series, I think it was clear to see that they needed another player that can get his own shot at any time that they needed. Looking at Pascal Siakam has been developing year over year over year, really compounding his development. Really, really, really improving exponentially. However, in the playoffs, he couldn't take that next step. And in this case, we saw that Pascal Siakam is an all-star. He's not a superstar, right? He's just not. There's certain players that are at that echelon in the league, and others that are just sort of, trying to hit the, trying to scratch their way into that upper room. And, he's a great player, but you could tell that he wasn't ready. And it's okay. The guy's only been in the league for 3 or 4 years, which made me ask an even larger question which was, who should they go out and try to acquire? Right? Who should be this person that can help them with their current situation? Now, looking at the free agency landscape this current offseason, there aren't too many big splashes that this team can make. But looking forward, one of the players that came up to that popped up in my mind was Bradley Beal. Right? Now, Bradley Beal, is a fantastic player. Although he recently, I think a year ago, signed a 2-year extension with the Washington Wizards for $72 million, which goes all the way into next season. But if you look at Bradley Beal as a player, he's quite accomplished, although he's not been playing for very long. He's a 2-time NBA All-Star. But if you look at his numbers and his production, for instance, last season, the guy averaged 30.5 points a game, 4.2 rebounds, 6.1 assists per game. If we go a little bit deeper in his numbers, he shot 45.5% from the field, so he shoots a good field goal percentage, taking 23 shots. So that's a legitimate 45% from the field. He shot 35% from the 3-point line. Some of you guys may say that's not amazing, but the guy was attempting 8.4, making 3-pointers a game, which is pretty good. He shoots a very good free throw percentage at 84.2% from the free throw line. And as I said, he also got you 1.2 steals. So the guy, and he's one of these guys that's also been improving year over year. In 2016, he was averaging 23. Then the next year 23. Then the following season 25.6, and then ultimately 30 points. I think if they went after a Bradley Beal, who number one has great size, which is something that I think this league is sort of skewing towards, is players that let's say small forwards, power forwards that have really good size, really good length to him. If I look at his height here, well, here they're saying he's 6'3", but I think they may be wrong. Look at it, NBA.com. I'm sure he's a little bit taller than that, but he has a lot of great size to him. He can get his own shot. He's a great shooter. He's a great defender, and I think that if you pair him with a Pascal Siakam, then you can have sort of like a 1-2 punch. Currently, I don't think the Toronto Raptors have a 1-2 punch, really. Yes, they have Pascal Siakam, who I believe is their number one option. And then I think everyone just scores by committee. You have Kyle Lowry, who can go off and get you 30 points in a game, but it's not something to expect from him consistently. You have Fred VanVleet, who can come off the bench and hit some major big shots. But these are not, number one options or number two options on the team. These guys score by committee. They're not known for being great scorers. So if Pascal Siakam had a great running mate in the Bradley Beal, which can take a lot of the pressure off of him in the playoffs to not feel like he needs to be the one to deliver, because as I said before, there are levels to it. They're all-stars, and then there's superstars who rise to the occasion, who are willing to take the shot over and over and over and over and over again and make the shot. And maybe Pascal Siakam will develop into that type of player. But as of now, I haven't seen that. Now, if you look at their current roster, I think they have a good complement of players. And Kyle Lowry, as I said before, Pascal Siakam, OG Anunoby, and all of these guys, Norman Powell. So, and of course, a great coach. So I think whoever they decide to go after, it could be Bradley Beal or someone else, obviously. But whoever they do decide to go after, I think it needs to be a great, has to have sort of the right attitude, fit the culture and the mold of that organization. And if they get Bradley Beal, I certainly think it will help. Now, obviously, he is not the only option that they can go after, because next season, I think at the end of next season, Kawhi Leonard is going to be a free agent again. So some of you guys may say go after Kawhi. That can also be a possibility, but I don't think it'll happen. I don't think he would leave Toronto just to come back 2 years later. I don't think that would happen. Yeah, Paul George, but I'm sure some of you guys will be down on Paul George for the performance that he put forth, in the playoffs this last season, but who knows? So what I want to know from you guys is, what do you think about the Bradley Beal move? Do you think it's something that they should look towards or not? Do you think maybe they should go after somebody else? Maybe it's not Bradley Beal. Bradley Beal is not the guy you guys feel like it should be somebody else. Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section below. Again, if you enjoyed the video, please make sure you go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell to be notified whenever we drop our content. Once again, this is Charles here from Dreamerspro. And also don't forget to check out some of our other videos, which we're going to have linked in the description below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you check some of those out, because I'm sure you guys will. Once again, thank you for attention and wishing you guys an amazing day. Peace.